Well, capitalism is a fucking monster. Every last thing on this earth is something to make a profit off of. I used to find it interesting as I would ride downtown into the city that every little piece of land, every little lot, well, everything that was turned into a lot, was for sale. As if our government couldn't maybe even leave patches of nature. I mean, why? Why leave a patch of nature anywhere? Especially near a city, right? Why would you need it? Besides, why not develop that great land? When everything from logging to toothpaste, not so bad, to a potato chip, well, corn chip, arguably not the worst thing in the world, to the treatment of cancer patients and cancer medications, when every last thing in the world is something to be divided up and sold, you will always have ecological problems and you will always have social problems. Capitalism is an absolute monster. I'm not advocating communism. I'm not even necessarily advocating socialism, although personally I would describe myself as a libertarian socialist. But there needs to be a massive powering down of society. I'm sure many of you have heard that term before, powering down. I would like to keep a lot of things like the internet. I think they're really important. I would like to keep science. I would like science to keep advancing if we don't crash as a civilization before then. But you know what? I wouldn't be sad if there were no cars on the road. If we went back to trains. If we didn't have mall after mall of useless bullshit. I'm definitely in between bright green environmentalism and dark green environmentalism. For those of you who don't know, light green environmentalism is like putting a sticker on the back of your SUV that says shop organic. Basically, light green environmentalism is meaningless, and if you are a light green environmentalist, you're a fucking retard. Dark green environmentalism is the belief that the way things are set up are quite bad, and that a massive restructuring needs to take place. Some would argue the end of organized civilization altogether. I personally wouldn't. But dark green environmentalism sees systemic problems that absolutely need to be changed. Bright green environmentalism has its own faults, and that's the view that basically technology can solve our problems, and we can invent our way out of this. I think that's fucking ridiculous, but I also don't think it's completely stupid to try to use technology. Um, I'm a huge fan of microbiology. My homepage is microbeworld.org, actually the news section of microbeworld.org. If you don't know enough, or if you don't know much about microbiology, I would suggest you really look into it, because whether it's the study of mushrooms, mycology, or the other branches of microbiology, microbiology is one of our best hopes that we have as a species in terms of literally making power, cleaning up all sorts of soils, cleaning up waterways, making better medications, etc. Also, I need to recommend a book. It's called Mycelium Running. How to It's called Mycelium Running. It's by Paul Statmans, and the subtitle is How Mushrooms Can Help Save the World. Save the world is a bit of a dramatic term when you have 6 billion hungry people eating, polluting, shitting, consuming. But it's an excellent book. Paul Statmans is an absolute visionary, and he basically uh, outlines how you can use mushroom mycelium which is the living tissue that mushrooms arise from, to do everything from clean soils to filter, say, hog waste coming from a hog plant. Not that I hog plant is a bad term. I wouldn't want to have factory farms if possible. Let's say a hog farm. Any animal plant or animal factory connection, word connection, just sounds fucking abhorrent. Um, and factory farming, as many of you know, is absolutely fucking abhorrent. Anyway, also as a food source, mushrooms are an incredible food source. The amount of protein in mushrooms is absolutely amazing. Many edible mushrooms can be well over 20% protein by dry weight. Not only that, mushrooms are an incredibly rich source of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, every nutrient you can imagine. The idea that people in the environmental movement wouldn't be incredibly excited about Paul Stamets and about the book Mycelium Running and about mushrooms always surprises me. Um, I've been reading about the environment for a long time, and, I know probably just as much as anyone discussing issues here on YouTube. And I am fucking shocked that I basically find practically no mention of Mycelium Running at all. So I'm going to upload some really detailed videos. I own a copy of the book, and I'm going to upload some very detailed videos about many of the concepts, and also some interviews with Paul Stamets, and maybe some short versions as well, some teasers to sort of lure in people that might not necessarily look at this kind of topic in the first place. I've been planning that for a while, a video called Paul Stamets, Why You Must Know This Man, or another title similar to that. So, yeah, read the book Mycelium Running, find out more about Paul Stamets. That's my solution. Also, why the fuck is no one ever talking about hemp? Like, I know there's some talk about hemp on YouTube, but within this, um, within the environmental community, I feel so weird saying environmental community about collection videos, but I don't really see much talk about hemp. Are people afraid they're going to be stereotyped as ditzy stoners? Most people know that marijuana smokers these days are everything from average people to highly intellectual people. Recent article came out in the paper, and it said that pretty much in Canada, marijuana smokers happen to be from all walks of life, and many of them happen to be quite intelligent and have a very high salary, etc. So, um, not only that, the idea that hemp and marijuana would be a completely muddied issue in this day and age is pretty ridiculous. I know in some parts of America it's a much more bigger issue than up here in Canada, but I really, really think there needs to be more talk about solutions. But by the same token, the destruction of the environment and our collapsing ecosystems and our future as a species, as has been said before, is a story that needs to be told and told and retold again, and told in another creative way, and then told in a story, and told in a song, and, in a picture, and in a short film, and in a movie, and told fucking again. And I'm gonna keep repeating myself, told and told and fucking told, because the idea that, I heard Acoustic Griffer saying something about, don't dazzle me with statistics. Well, guess fucking what? Statistics are important, and information is important, and we're a thinking, reading culture, or at least I fucking hope we still are. So sometimes you have to recommend a book, and sometimes you have to talk about the reality and the situation, because quite frankly, there are more and more and more people all the time, and there are people that are growing up all the time. People that are younger need to know what's going on, because they're just arriving on the scene, so to speak. So, um, let's look at solutions, but let's not be fucking ridiculous. Let's tell the story of what's really happening. And Z, you're doing a good job, but I think you need to focus more on the creativity.